Hey guys, Ray from Lovey RV and Boat. So I have another lithium battery to review for you. This time it's from a company called Bluetti. They're the power station company. I've reviewed quite a few of their power stations over the years, and they always make pretty slick stuff. And it looks like they're starting to get into the standalone battery game. This is a 12.8 volt, 314 amp hour lithium battery. Lithium iron phosphate type. They do have a 100 amp hour, I believe, and then another that's a higher voltage one. So these are just starting to be released now, and they contacted me and asked if I'd like to review one. So fair disclaimer, this is a free review sample that was sent to me, but I'm not being paid by them or anything, so, and have free editorial control. In this video, I'm just going to go through its features and what you get, and then we'll install it in my RV here, and then give me some time to test it out and come back to you and let you know how it's performed. So right away I see some interesting features that you don't often see on these type of batteries. They do have a link in and a link out, so you can link multiple ones together and they can talk to each other. I think you can put quite a few, I think up to 48 batteries or something. I'll go through the manual and figure that out and come back and give you the exact specs on that. Just kind of took it apart out of the box and kind of looking through what they gave me here. Seems like they actually provide mounting plates, which is kind of nice. 10 plate, so you can set up where you're going to put the mounting plates for the battery. And then we've got some really long wood screws, I guess if you're mounting it into wood, a wood bench or something, or in an RV. And they also have these interesting nuts and bolts here. They look like an expansion nut. So I guess if you're putting into some other type of material that's not wood, you would use those. And then they also have the bolts for hooking up the lugs, the battery cables. And it's nice they provided some really long ones too, if you're putting multiple lugs on it. And a data cable. And they even put some nice insulators for your lugs as well. And they're nice soft rubber. Pretty good quality stuff. A little bag. Another feature it has is an on-off switch here. And also it connects to the Bluetti app, which can run all the power stations and stuff. And interesting, a little different than a lot of them. It kind of reminds me of Battleborn batteries, where they have this type of connector to install the cables to. You can really crank them up tight then, that type of connector. Some handles on each side for picking it up. And I noticed it's also IP65, so it's very water resistant. I think IP65 means it can handle like a spray of a hose. You can't really submerge it into water, but everything else, it kind of is waterproof. So probably good for marine environment too. And I see on the top here they have these little standouts there, and on the bottom there's some other indents so you can stack these batteries. So if you're putting up a major array of batteries, you could all stack them up. Anyway, like I say, I'm going to go install it in my front bay where I have a 3000 watt inverter, and I'll be able to test the charge and discharge of the battery and its capacity. I'm not sure what this is. It looks like maybe it's a valve you can open, I guess, to relieve any pressure that might get in. It's probably a sealed battery, so that's probably just a valve. So a quick look at the specs here. Charging current, 70 amps recommended, 140 amp max. Discharging current, 140 amp max. Peak discharge current, 310 amps for 8 seconds. Cycle life, 60,000 cycles while retaining 70% capacity. It's got overcurrent protection, cell temperature protection, overvoltage protection, single cell overvoltage protection, single cell undervoltage protection. So yeah, short circuit protection, cell temperature protection. I do believe it's also self-heating, so it can be used in cold environments. So we got it all installed in my RV here. It's able to use the brackets down there and screw it into, I got a metal belly pan here, and then ran a strap to hold it down. You can see there's some cutouts here for the strapping. So yeah, that system works pretty well. That is in there really strong. It's not going anywhere. Yeah. You can see the insulated covers there. And it's turned on. It's nice that it has a power button. I'll look at it. And I've just connected it through a fuse here and up to my bus bars. Goes through another, I got an inverter fuse here. I'm running a 3,000 watt inverter, and it has a 150 amp battery charger in it, so I should be able to give a good charge and discharge test with this. So I'm going to use it for the next couple weeks. We're taking a trip and going to be dry camping for about a week, so be able to kind of test out how the battery's working. I also have some solar controllers here, get a 60 amp and a 50 amp. That actually is also a DC to DC charger, so I'll be able to test solar charging and alternator charging with this battery as well. Okay, well, I'm back after a week of testing. Used it for a few days in the RV on hookups. No problem there, of course, because it's just running the DC loads to the camper. And then we went and we boondocked for 3 or 4 days off grid. And it ran everything in the RV through the inverter. It's able to run my microwave and toaster and Instapot, that sort of thing, and then all the DC loads as well. And also is able to charge it using the inverter and also my solar controller and my DC to DC charger. So that all went well. I'm happy to report. Okay, now I've moved the battery out of my RV and into this it's kind of a toolbox in my truck I use as a test bed for equipment. And it's fit snugly down there. I just wired it all in to this system. I have a solar controller in here and a DC to DC charger. So my truck's alternator can provide 40 amps through that. I have an 80 amp lithium charger down here. And there's just a little 1,000 watt inverter there. I wanted to put it in here so that I could test out its weather resistance and also its self-heating function. So it's getting to be about mid-November here, and a couple more weeks we should start getting into some lower temperatures and start getting down below freezing at night. So I'll be able to test out the self-heating function, kind of real-world scenario here. I'm also going to test out its capacity, its max charging, and its max discharging. I won't do that in this video. I'll do that in the next video when I come back and test out its self-heating. I've got a big 3,000 watt inverter there, and can use that for testing its max discharge. I believe it's 140 amps, so that should be able to supply enough current to run most things that can run off of a household outlet. If you're going to run, say, a 3,000 watt inverter and you're going to max it out, you'd probably need 2 of these in parallel so that you would have enough amperage to deal with that. Anyway, that's what's going to go on in future videos. And at some point I might take it apart and have a peek inside and check the internal build quality, see what they've done there, but I want to complete all my other tests before I do that. Let's give you a look at the app. I'll plug in this charger, 80 amp charger, and we'll give you a look at what the app looks like. Okay, so here's the Bluetti app. You can see a few other power stations I have on there. So we'll just click and connect to the battery. Okay, there we go. So it's pretty basic. You've got your current, capacity left, percentage, and the voltage, estimated charging time, battery temperature, and the Bluetooth signal. And you click over here, opens up a couple other things, password, connection, home page display, that's part of the app. And there's an upgrade button. So yeah, you can upgrade the firmware as well. Kind of told Bluetti that it'd be nice if they had a little more feature-rich app, if maybe they would show the cell voltages, individual cell voltages, to see how balanced they are, and also settings that you could maybe set the max charge and discharge rate. Sometimes people like to do that, and also maybe set the max percentage you'd like to have it charged at, or have it set only go down to say 10% before it cut off, you know, low voltage cut off, or stuff like that. But I'm sure this is a pretty brand new battery, so I'm sure they'll be able to add to its functionality. Anyway, stay tuned, and I'll come out with another video fairly shortly. Until next time, Ray from Love RV and Boat. Thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers.